Hey yo, coming soon to a theater in your hood, Tyler Perry is proud to present, in association with Ghetto Mound Pictures, A Nigga Most Unmanageable, starring Wesley Snipes as Walter Shampoo Buster Keys, also featuring Kevin Hart as Okra Jones, Jada Pinkett Smith as Ophelia Redonkulous, and special guest appearance by Samuel L. Jackson as Ghetto Star Blacktica. The movie event of the summer. Be there or be white.
He's unmanageable. This is Automated Thought.
Hey everybody, Automated Thought here. You know, it's a new year. I think it's time for a change. Hold on. Yes. I feel brand new. Like a phoenix. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about today is Blockbuster Movies. We all love them, right? And I know, we should all be spending our time watching the latest and greatest groundbreaking television like Mr. Robot and Westworld and Stranger Things and whatever the hell the OA is. But we just can't get away from those big blockbuster movies, can we? To me, this modern era of the ongoing mega blockbuster, I think it was like 2007, somewhere between Spider-Man 3 and Pirates of the Caribbean 3, when I realized, wow, there's a lot of really big entertaining movies now. Is it gonna keep being this good? And it did, to the point that there is a definite sense of blockbuster fatigue setting in. For me, 2016 was a really sparse year at the multiplex. The only movies that I had to go see were Deadpool, Suicide Squad, and Rogue One. I also went to see X-Men Apocalypse just because my friend was in town, and we said, screw it, let's go see something. But looking ahead to 2017, holy shit. I read online recently that there are, at last count, at least 47 major blockbuster movies coming to the theater. Nearly every one of them, of course, is a sequel, a remake, or a reboot of an existing property, which is depressing. But even with that, there is a surprisingly high number of films coming to theaters that I actually kind of want to see. I copied and pasted a little list here, and I'd like to just sort of go down it and kind of talk about each one briefly. See what I think of them, see what you think of them. Maybe we're on the same page with some of them, maybe not. Fun, right? Okay, let's see here. Where is my list? Number 1, The Power Rangers. Now, this to me is an example of a good idea for a reboot. You have this old corny property laying around, gathering dust. Why not make it into something that looks kind of fresh and new? A lot of the old fans of Power Rangers, they don't like the more serious tone that you see in the previews. And anyone who says that, I say, give it a chance. If you want the old corny Power Rangers, there are at least 25 million old episodes laying around that you can watch. So with that in mind, hey, let them try something new and slick and dark. Me, I gotta see this movie just because I'm really fascinated by the idea of Elizabeth Banks as the sexy reptile Rita Repulsa. Sorry, I've drawn her before, I want to draw her again. And of course, I gotta see this movie to see if she changes into any crazy new outfits or mutates into anything sexy. So, I don't know if I can promise that I'm gonna see this one in the theater, but I'm gonna try. I should explain, for me, it's really hard to get to the movie theater sometimes. I work nights, and I typically only have one day off per week, and that's the day when I work on all my artistic projects and take care of our increasingly large number of dogs. There's been so many times where I get out of bed at 8 o'clock at night, and I say, okay, I'm gonna go see a movie. I'm gonna go see fucking Narnia 3 or something. And then I look at my dogs, and they're just looking at me like, where are you going? Shouldn't you wait for it to come to video? And shouldn't you stay home and work on other stuff and be with us, the little puppies? And then my heart just breaks, and I stay, and I say, well, At least I'm saving $10. So, will I have the moxie to go see Power Rangers in the theater? Only time will tell. Let's see, next movie on the list. Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Yes, I really want to see that one. I liked the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Everyone did. We're all gonna try and go see this one. Baby Groot. Let's see, coming up after that, John Wick, Chapter 2. Ooh, you know, John Wick was a really enjoyable piece of pop cheese. It was a great rental, and this one is probably going to be a rental too. We love you, Keanu Reeves. Keep kicking ass. But I'd be lying if I said I thought I was going to get to the theater to see this one. I'll see it eventually. It's a Redbox movie. Ghost in the Shell. Oh, Scarlett Johansson. Oh, I really want to see this one. I do. I really want to see it. Next on the list, Logan. You know, I think it's really cool how they're officially killing off this character, letting Hugh Jackman portray him as an old man and then kill him off. The trailer gives it kind of a Fury Road type vibe. Again, I'm interested to see it, but it's not a must-see. Because, hey, you know, they're going to kill him, and then in the next movie, they're going to bring Wolverine back to life using an alternate timeline, and he'll just be portrayed by a younger actor. You know that's going to happen, right? Up next on the list, Beauty and the Beast. Oh, man. You know, the animated Beauty and the Beast is one of my favorite movies of all time. Funny story, due to a weird fluke of life circumstances, I saw the original Beauty and the Beast like an insane number of times in the theater. I literally went to see it, I think I lost count at like 23 or 25 times. I had nothing else to do that summer. My parents were getting divorced. I didn't want to hang around outside, so I would just go to the $3 theater and see Beauty and the Beast 2 or 3 times in a row. I'd spend the whole day watching that movie. There were 2 other movies playing in that theater. One of them was The Last Boy Scout, and one of them was My Girl. And I never saw either of those movies to this day. I just kept going there and watching Beauty and the Beast over and over and over again. And I swear to you, I don't do anything like that now. That was a weird time in my life. That being said, you know, all these Disney live-action remakes of animated movies, I haven't really seen any of them yet, but I'd be slightly more likely to see this one. It's got Emma Watson in it. She's Hermione. Let's see. Kong. Skull Island. You know, I've never seen a single King Kong movie in my entire life, and I'm probably not going to start now. I don't like giant monkeys. I don't know why anyone does. Godzilla is cooler. Wonder Woman. Ooh, I really want to go see that movie. Unlike everybody else in the civilized world, I think I like the DC comic universe more than Marvel right now. Marvel's great, but it's just, you know, too jokey and too predictable. I like the weird, dark, humorless DC movies. And part of me wants to see this movie in the theater just to support it, because it's the first major female-led blockbuster superhero movie in a long time. And I think that should be supported with our dollars. Not like Ghostbusters. You see, Ghost Boosters? It cuts both ways.
Fuck you.
And then after that, if one DC movie wasn't enough, we also have the Justice League movie coming up this year. What the fuck? Why are they making so many fucking movies? We see Wonder Woman, and then we're gonna see her in another movie with Batman and Aquaman and Cyborg and The Flash? I want to see this one, but damn! This shit is getting out of hand. Does anyone else feel that? Let's see. Alien Covenant. A lot of people I know are super psyched for this one. I'm not really. I mean, it's like they tried to do something different with Prometheus, and it failed on every level, and so they're just going to go back to the same old scary aliens, crawling through the ship and killing people, and at the end there'll be one female survivor. Prove me wrong, Ridley Scott. or whoever's directing this movie, prove me wrong. Ooh, here's an interesting one. Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets. Not many people have heard of that one. It's directed by Luc Besson, who did a movie you may recognize called The Fifth Element. This kind of feels how like it did when The Fifth Element came out back in 1990 whatever. Nobody knew what it was, but we saw the commercials and we're like, huh, that looks kind of original. I don't know what the hell that is, but I should go see it. I did go see The Fifth Element in the theaters. This one I'll probably not see. Let's see. Another one I'm probably not going to see is World War Z 2. The first one was just kind of blech. See, I'm a big fan of the show The Walking Dead, and in my opinion, The Walking Dead has pretty much rendered all other zombie horror movies redundant. Just, you can't compete with The Walking Dead, so why try? Plus, World War Z has fast zombies. Fast zombies suck. Slow zombies are the way to go. That's my last word on the subject. War for the Planet of the Apes. No, I still don't like monkeys. Flatliners. What the fuck? They made a remake of Flatliners? Oh. Huh. No, probably not going to see that. Despicable Me Part 3. Ugh. I didn't like the first two. The main character, the Steve Carell, what the fuck is his name? Groot? Grundle? I don't know what his name is. I don't like that character. I'm not going to go see this movie. Oh, here we go. The Dark Tower. Oh, I am psyched for The Dark Tower. This is one of my must-sees of the year. I am a huge, wet, gushing fan of Stephen King's Dark Tower books. They're magnificent. They're like some of the best stuff he's ever written. The movies, of course, are going to have to be very different from the books. I mean, the first book in the Dark Tower saga, The Gunslinger, it's very spare, it's very bleak. It's mostly just the main character trudging across an endless desert until he catches up with the villain. And then when he does, they do a bunch of drugs, and he has a big cosmic hallucination that ends with him seeing a giant blade of purple grass. And the villain says, "What is the deal with the purple grass blade?" And the hero says, "I'm not sure just yet. Have to wait to find out what is up with the purple grass." So yeah, for this movie, they're going to take all the stuff from the books, which, dude, the Dark Tower books are endlessly epic. They span this like massive array of time and characters and places and settings and all these events across multiple timelines and multi-dimensional worlds that shift and buckle upon each other. They're going to kind of mix it up and take what they want from that and kind of fashion a more cohesive narrative, a more theatrical narrative, I should say. You know, one that involves him shooting more. Man, the casting for The Dark Tower, Idris Elba as Roland, and Matthew McConaughey as the Man in Black. Oh, that is some good casting. And remember, if you don't think Idris Elba should play the gunslinger, my brother, you racist. And Matthew McConaughey, he is perfect for this role because the character, the Man in Black, he's like the devil, but he's kind of like a crazy redneck devil who likes to have fun. That's Matthew McConaughey in a nutshell. Have you ever seen Killer Joe? If not, you should. Killer Joe is a wonderful, uplifting movie. Oh man, we're even getting a double dose of Stephen King. The frickin' remake of It? Ah, I want to see that too. I know the new Pennywise looks kind of weird. He's not what we're used to. He looks kind of like a cross between Vegeta and a girl. But I mean, that could be scary. Full disclosure, the original It movie from the 80s, I saw it when I was like 9 or 10 years old, and it scared me worse than anything ever. I was terrified of Pennywise for years. This movie's probably not going to scare me that much, but I'd still like to see it. Man, new Stephen King cinematic universe. Enough with the comic books. Let's get more Stephen King going. Yeah! Okay, what's up next? The Mummy, starring Tom Cruise. Why? I mean, okay, whatever. Does anyone notice that the evil mummy, the mummy is now a lady? She's a sexy lady, and she looks just like the Enchantress from Suicide Squad. I wonder if she'll do the same little sexy side-to-side dance. I kinda hope not. What else is coming out in 2017? Let's see, there's Dunkirk from Christopher Nolan. I don't really know what it's about, but Christopher Nolan makes really good movies. Like, I wasn't really psyched to see Interstellar, but then when I did, I realized I should never doubt Christopher Nolan. He always does a good job. So whatever the hell Dunkirk is, it's probably worth seeing. Cloverfield 2017. Rental. Friday the 13th reboot. Again. What the hell? They're rebooting Friday the 13th again? You think they can make it not completely suck this time? Probably not, but we'll see. Oh. Blade Runner 2049. I cannot believe they're making a sequel to Blade Runner. Blade Runner's a great movie. You know, a lot of the younger people today, they haven't seen Blade Runner. It's kind of a movie for people my age. If you're younger and you've never seen Blade Runner, you might want to check it out. It's really good. The thing to keep in mind when seeing Blade Runner is it was one of those movies that was made in the 80s when they didn't have the budget for a ton of special effects. So it's a movie about robots, or replicants rather, and it's all about hunting these robots and catching these robots and learning how they think and what they do and all this other stuff. But they just look like normal people. The replicants look and act exactly like normal people. It was a really good example of how filmmakers used to have to really use their imagination to cover up for a lack of effects. And the movie's probably a lot stronger for it, because when you have enough money to build and show any kind of robot you want, you might end up with Transformers. Oh god. The other thing to know about Blade Runner is that, okay, take a look at this. You see the giant, glowing, dark, rainy metropolis with the buildings that go up for miles and down for miles, just a futuristic city bigger than anything you could possibly imagine. And it's very high tech, but then there's all these low tech touches, like the Asian food seller going around in his little food boat selling food, and there's a lot of blinking neon signs and holograms of Japanese models trying to sell you stuff, and all the people being bombarded by the advertisements. They're all depressed and everything. That image that seems so familiar to you, it was kind of invented in this movie. No one had really portrayed a city like that before. The Japanese in particular saw the city in this movie, and then they copied it and put it in every futuristic anime ever. Like if you've ever seen Akira or Armitage or anything like that, the Japanese futuristic megalopolis, it didn't originate in Japan, pretty much. It came from Blade Runner, which, is pretty cool. The city. The massive city. As for the movie itself, Blade Runner 2049, I might try and see that one in the theater, but man, there's already been so many movies on this list. How am I supposed to see them all? This God. Let's see, what else is next? Death Note. That's probably a bad idea. No matter how good this movie is, it still won't be as good as the anime. Death Note is one of the best animes ever. If you ever meet somebody who says that anime is stupid and gay and just for losers, Death Note is like Exhibit A of what you would show them to prove that anime can be brilliant. Oh my god, I'm having trouble just getting through this list, let alone the actual movies. Spider-Man: Homecoming. Yeah, I'd like to see it. The new Spider-Man kid seems pretty cool. Probably better than those last two. Although, if you ask me, it'll have a hard time surpassing the best Spider-Man movie, which is Spider-Man 3. That's right, I think Spider-Man 3 is the best Spider-Man movie so far. Why do people think that Spider-Man 2 is great? It's not. Spider-Man 2 is my least favorite one. Sure, Dr. Octopus is kind of cool, but his whole relationship with Peter Parker, the whole, I hate Spider-Man, but I just met this kid Peter Parker and he's like a son to me because he's smart like me. It was a complete retread of the Green Goblin in Part 1. The running gag about how Spider-Man has no luck got really old after a while. The parts about how he was losing his powers because he was losing confidence in himself, that was stupid. And it had one of my least favorite moments in any movie. The long drawn-out speech where Aunt May says, you remember the speech she gives? She says, well, Peter, people need heroes. They line up for heroes at midnight, as if they were seeing a very popular heroic movie on its first night of release. Midnight ticket sales are a good indicator of a movie's overwhelming popularity, Peter. I hated that scene. But hey, now Aunt May is played by Marissa Tomei. Upgrade! Oh my god, what's after this? Saw Legacy, which is like a reboot of Saw. I only ever saw one of the old Saw movies. I think it was Part 5. I didn't like it. I mean, this Jigsaw guy, the way he tries to play with everyone's lives, who the fuck does he think he is? What an asshole. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Oh, more Marvel. Thor, Ragnarok Part 3. I like the Thor movies. I saw the first one in the theater. I didn't see the second one in the theater. I liked the second one, though. I think this one will be pretty good. We'll see. Marvel fatigue is setting in. I hope Loki dies in this one. Nobody really talks about him much anymore. Like a few years ago, people were crazy for Loki, but I think he's kind of stopped trending now. Yeah, it's time to kill Loki. T2, Train Spotting. Cute. Yeah, I want to see it. The first one was good. Do any kids out there even remember the first Train Spotting? If I was starting college like in 1996, and I think that's when this movie came out, and everyone was like, dude, you gotta go see Train Spotting. And I did, and it was pretty cool. It was a rite of passage for my generation. Now the characters are old, and they're probably still on heroin. Okay. Let's see, what's next on the list? We're getting near the end here. Murder on the Orient Express. Wow, if kids don't remember Train Spotting, they really don't remember Hercule Poirot. This is a movie for old people. I'm not that old yet. Fuck this movie. Let's see. Transformers 5. The Last Night. No. I don't care. My best friend got me to see Transformers 4. That's not happening again. If he comes down and visits me on the exact week this movie comes out, and he says,
dude, let's go see Transformers 5. We have to complete the cycle of pain.
I will barricade myself inside my closet and bronze myself up with my own feces so that nobody can extricate me from the closet. That's how much I don't want to see this movie. I didn't even want to see the preview for this movie, but I did before Rogue One. It was painful. They just keep making it bigger and stupider, and what the fuck is Anthony Hopkins doing in this movie? Huh? Anthony Hopkins, I know you're going to be dead soon, but why? Don't you have some family you can spend time with? The worst part of the preview is that he's giving his little speech and he says, don't you want to know why, out of all the planets in the galaxy, they keep coming here? I thought, probably because of another stupid MacGuffin. I mean, the angry robots came in Part 1 because Earth is where Megatron was buried. And then they came in Part 2 because the Fallen's ancient sun-destroying machine was hidden here. You probably forgot all about that, didn't you? I've forgotten about it. I don't know where this knowledge is coming from. And then they came in Part 3 because they had staked out the Earth to be their replacement for Cybertron, which is completely conflicting with what happened in Part 2. And then, wait, why did they come in Part 4? I don't remember. I don't remember what happened in Transformers 4. Whatever happened, it didn't happen. I don't know. That's it. This is over. I'm not talking about Transformers anymore. Fuck Transformers. Fuck Michael Bay. Fuck these movies. They are a waste. Coming up next, Pirates of the Caribbean 5, which, depending on what part of the world you live in, will either be called Dead Men Tell No Tales or Salazar's Revenge, which is a bit punchier, I guess. Okay, Captain Salazar, the new bad guy. You know, he looks pretty cool in the preview, but at this point you gotta ask yourself, how many supernatural sea captains with cool ghost ships and armies of ghost pirates did Jack Sparrow personally piss off? I mean, what is this, the fourth, the fifth one? Let's see, okay, there was Captain Barbossa, then there was Davy Jones, and then there was Blackbeard, and now there's this new one. I mean, I'm not surprised that Jack Sparrow managed to piss off a lot of people, but a shockingly high number of the people that he pissed off became undead ghost captains. That's kind of fortuitous, don't you think? I wonder who the next ghost captain will be in Part 6. I'm guessing that Disney will buy the rights to Treasure Island so that Jack Sparrow can cowardly run away from either Captain Flint or Long John Silver. It'll be one of those two because, frankly, they're running out of pirate names that people recognize. Davy Jones, Blackbeard, Flint, Long John Silver. There aren't many other famous pirate names after that. Okay, let's see. The Fast and the Furious Part 8, The Fate of the Furious. I kind of have a soft spot for the Fast and Furious movies. Not a big soft spot, but a little one. Back in 2014, I was working with this one dude, and during the coldest part of January, when it was like 2 degrees outside, we holed up at work and watched every Fast and Furious movie, because there was nothing else to do. That being said, without those very unique life circumstances, I may not rush to see this one. Although, if you ask me, they should have Paul Walker in the movie as a completely disrespectful, horribly animated CG marionette shell of his former self. That would be funny. Like have his mouth just kind of move open and closed like a puppet. Have his mouth move like a puppet. That would be pretty funny. Oh my god, there's only 2 movies left. One of them, of course, is the big one. Star Wars Episode 8. The Force Awakens, Part 2. I think I've just realized how badly Disney has me by the balls. It's not that I want to go see a Star Wars movie. I mean, I do. But even stronger than my desire to see a new Star Wars movie every year is the notion that I can't not see a new Star Wars movie every year. If a Star Wars movie comes out, for the time being, I have to go see it. It's just mandatory. But nah, I'm looking forward to this one. I like The Force Awakens a lot more than I thought I would. And I'm going to tell you, right here, right now, what I think's going to happen in this movie. I think that Luke is the new bad guy. Yes, Luke Skywalker. He turned to the dark side. That Snoke thing? Snoke is not real. Snoke is a hologram that Luke uses to control the First Order. Snoke is short for sneaky old Luke. Now, you probably think that sounds pretty ridiculous, right? I don't think so. Think about it this way. This new trilogy is clearly patterned after the original, and they're trying to make something that stands on par with the original Star Wars trilogy. And the second film in the original trilogy, The Empire Strikes Back, it concluded with one of the greatest movie twists of all time. You know, Luke, I am your father? Oh man, at the time that was just like unbelievable, just devastating. Just people in the theater started freaking out and shitting themselves because they couldn't believe what the fuck was going on. They just ripped off their clothes and ran out of the theater naked, screaming, "What the fuck? Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father now!" It happened, I'm told. I was only 4 years old at the time, so I don't really remember. But anyway, my point is, J.J. Abrams and company at Disney, they're going to want to end this movie with an equally big twist. And that twist is going to be that Luke was behind it all along. Rey is going to spend most of the movie with Luke, learning about the Force, and then at the end, she's going to find out that he's the bad guy. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't think Luke turned to the dark side in order to control the universe, to set himself up as like a new Emperor Palpatine. No. That's been done. That's boring. That's not what Luke is after. He will have turned to the dark side for kind of a different reason. For example, what I think is most likely, what if, now just bear with me here, what if the mass murder and destruction in the first Star Wars movie, when the Starkiller base blew up the Republic and snuffed out billions of lives, what if somehow Luke knows that there's some property of the Force, that when massive evil takes place, that the Force rebounds by creating the new Jedi? Whether they use the word midichlorians or not, they might not. People seem to hate the word midichlorians. I don't have a problem with it. But what if Luke knows that in order to truly reestablish the Jedi, he has to wound the universe. He has to wound the universe so deeply that it begins to heal and push back in some way. Some sort of eternal push-pull type thing. I mean, because did you notice? The next time you see The Force Awakens, keep this in mind. Right after the Starkiller base blows up the Republic and kills a bunch of people, right after that, Rey's powers start increasing. The Force was awakening with her. Why do you think that movie was called The Force Awakens? It's because Luke, Dark Luke, he's a dark Jedi, a gray Jedi, whatever. Luke is reawakening the Force, and he had to turn to the dark side to do it. Because if he had stayed on the light side, he would have just kind of withered away and died, like Obi-Wan Kenobi. And Luke has bigger plans than that. Yes, you heard it here first. And if that actually happens, then you have to come back here in a year's time and kiss my ass, because I am brilliant. The last movie on the list is Jumanji.
Fuck Jumanji.
I didn't see the first one. Why would you reboot Jumanji? Jumanji! There's gotta be something you can reboot besides frickin' Jumanji! Jumanji! Oh man, this was a fun video to make. Anyway, to briefly surmise, looking over the list in total, the movies that I am going to attempt to make it to the theater to see in 2017 are Star Wars Episode 8, Power Rangers, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Ghost in the Shell, The Dark Tower, It, and possibly Blade Runner 2049. Oh geez, that's more movies than I normally see. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to do this. Wish me luck. So hey, out of all these movies, which ones are your must-sees? Leave it in the comments below. I would like to hear it. Until next time, Automated Thought out!
One down, one to go, another town and one more show. Downtown you're giving away, but you never came back. No phone can take your place, do you know what I mean? We have the same intrigue as the God of Kings.